What's causing all this? Woo!
Put Scooter on the phone, you bird brain.
What do you do, backflips? You jump up there in a silly suit? What do you do?
You go BAM! I want you to play that.
All right. Good evening, everybody. Here we go. Another exciting episode of Fast Freddie Rocks Youngstown, our podcast, live and direct from the Youngstown studio in beautiful downtown Youngstown. As state-of-art studio, Joe Danier here to take care of things, help us out. Right. And my guest today, Rajma McKenzie. Rajma, good to see you, brother.
Good to see you, Fred.
You know, good to have you back. You know, Rajma was one of our first guests, you and Leanne, when we first started this. And as promised, this, you know, you've been working on some new music, and we said, man, we'll get you back on. We're going to talk about it. And also today, you're going to give me a little music lesson and maybe teach me how to play a guitar, and then I can join the band. And
you can join the band. You can record a tune with me.
Yeah. We'll have
to do that.
We'll have to take Triple Threat to the next level. You know, we'll probably have to change the name because you got 4 people in there. You can't be Triple Threat with 4 people.
Quadruple.
Yeah, something. So that's going to be fun. I don't know if you could teach me how to sing either, because singing is.
We can do that.
Really?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. All right. We'll see what we can do. We'll see if we can make a rock star out of me.
Okay.
Yeah. This is kind of like one of those makeover shows or whatever. Right. And we just get a guy off the street and
make Freddie over into a rock star. I love it. That's awesome.
Oh, that'll be a lot of fun. That'll be a lot of fun. So what's been going on since last time I saw you, since you stopped down?
Wow. So a lot of stuff has been going on, Freddie. Just still in the recording studio. As a matter of fact, just got done yesterday recording another tune at, I always love to plug them, Court Street Recording in Canfield. Look out. It's going to get real now. Thanks, Joe.
What do you got there, Joe?
Little Blantons.
Blantons. Oh, no. Dr. Sue would like that, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
yeah. That's one of her favorites right there.
Is this one for you?
Yeah. You want one?
What do you mean, do I want one? Wait a minute. That was kind of an insult.
Well, I don't know if you want to mix it.
Okay, well, yeah, you know, I got my Sam Adams Holiday Porter here, which is really good. And okay, now we got some Blantons. You know, Blantons is this fancy stuff here too. I mean,
right.
just look at the cap on this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is some fancy stuff there. Dr. Sue, I'm sure she'll be tuning in here at some point today.
Oh, yeah.
And we'll have to show her that we have the Blantons out here.
The Blantons. We'll wait till Joe gets one. Then we'll make
no, could you believe that? You know, he pours one, and I thought that was for me and you, and I thought he was going to go do whatever he does behind the scenes here. And he goes, oh, okay, he's ready to toast Rajma. I'm like, whoa, are we forgetting somebody here or what, man?
Hey, to the new year, yeah.
To the new year, and
right.
to the continued success and your continued hard work, Rajma. Cheers.
Thank you.
And we'll do this for Super Dave, too.
The super one.
And I also now...
That's good stuff.
Last week when Cornell was here, and he's a big Tom Petty fan, we're like,
beer,
whenever
whiskey, and coffee.
Wow.
beer, whiskey, and an espresso. Now I'm all set.
You're set.
Now I'm all set. But you know, whenever we do a toast now, we always do one to Tom Petty, the TP.
All right.
TP. There we go. Boy, is this stuff smooth.
Man, it's so good.
Oh man! Now I'm really starting to see this whole bourbon thing. I you know, I wasn't really a big bourbon person. But you know, we had Dr. Sue on, and she started talking about it. And I guess she's like an aficionado with this stuff.
Absolutely.
She's talking about these bottles going for $3,000 and stuff. I'm like, wow,
it's good stuff. It's real good stuff.
Yeah. Hey, you know what I saw in the news? Did you see where they're suing Fireball because those little ones that they sell in like gas stations and stuff? That's not real whiskey.
Okay.
Yeah. And they do that all the time. I'm surprised people just now caught on to that, because you can't sell whiskey at a gas station or a convenience store. It's that diluted stuff. So any of that kind of stuff you see in there, they have Parrot Bay rum and them little things.
The little tiny bottles.
Right. When they sell those, it's got to be 20%. It can only be 40 proof, or you got to sell it in the liquor store. So they've been selling these big buckets of Fireball and stuff in them little nip bottles. And some people that are buying it because they want the real whiskey one that you get at the state store, they're a little pissed off. And somebody has a $5 million lawsuit out against those guys. And you know, but to me, it's just common sense. I knew that all along. You know, if you buy, you know, they got some of that cheap vodka sitting there and stuff. If they're
Right.
selling it at country fair, it ain't the real
It
thing.
ain't the real thing.
Right,
Oh
right.
my gosh. Well,
And
speaking of Dr. Sue, actually, one of the guitars I brought is from Wolfstock.
oh yeah,
I thought I would show that off. So we'll get to that later. But
yeah.
yeah, I'm sure Sue will be happy. That
Oh,
we
Dr.
actually-
Sue, Dr.
she
Sue
on
is
here?
in the house. There she is. Okay.
Common sense. Common sense is.
Hey,
dead.
look at that, Dr. Sue. We got Joe to kick us right up the Blantons right there now, huh?
We went straight up.
Yeah. You
Oh,
didn't even want to pour me a shot. Did you see that,
I did see
Rob?
that. I did
I
see
mean,
that. He's
How-
really hurt.
how do you that was really kind of offensive, Joe. I mean, come on. I thought mine would be poured first. No, we'd want Rama's first, but no, this is some good stuff. All right, let's see here. Okay.
Let's
Oh,
go.
Dr. Sue wants in on the toast too. Here you
Oh,
go.
hey,
Here, cheers, Dr. Sue.
All right.
Dr. Sue and the TP.
All right.
I'm always toasting the Tom Petty now. Jay Bird is checking in. He found the bottled and bonded Jack Daniels is at the Chalet Premiere. Okay.
All right.
That's supposed to be some good stuff there too.
That is.
Yeah, we'll see if Jay Bird, he's another one. We'll see if he brings some of that out to bike night or something.
There you
He's
go.
going to bring a flask, or he's just sitting at home right now, chilling,
Right.
maybe burning one and sipping his Jack Bonded. Uh-oh, here we go. Let's see here.
Uh-oh.
Hubcap in the house. How you
Wow.
doing, Hubcap? I was wondering what was going on with that stuff. I had 10 of them and no
Yep.
buzz. Okay, right. Yeah, that could be. I thought he was talking about the Blantons there for a minute.
Yeah.
Sometimes my short attention span, I forget that he was talking about Fireball, because we talked about that 2 minutes ago. That's long gone
Way
in my
gone now.
brain. Yeah. What's he talking about? The little bottles. But yeah. Hey, Bill Larson checking in. Wow, Bill, how you doing, man? Wasted 4x4s. Everybody's wasted. Boy, we used to have some good times with those guys at the wasted 4x4s, and 4x4 guys.
4x4s. No, I didn't.
Oh,
I've
they-
never heard of those.
Oh
guys.
yeah.
Sounds like something I should have heard of.
Oh yeah. Remember? Yeah. Well, you remember when Yankee Lake used to have truck night?
Oh yeah.
And that
all the
that
time.
place used to be off the hook.
Packed.
And-
And great concerts that used to come through there. Actually, I think we did an opening for Mountain there one time. I don't know if you were at that show, but so Leslie West shows up, right? He's
Yeah.
there. His entire band, the flight got canceled.
Oh no.
So you have Yankee Lake. There's thousands of people there. They're there to see Mountain. Comes out on the stage and he says, "My band's not going to make it, but I'm going to play the show for you anyway." And it was just him and his electric guitar, and he killed it. I mean, it was amazing. He did all the hits, and it was great. Just him and a guitar.
Who else was there?
Let's see. I think it was us, Leslie West. Oh, and it was Skinnerd.
Oh, okay.
I think Skinnerd.
Okay.
I think it was Leslie West and then Skinnerd.
Yeah. See, at that point in time, I wasn't involved in that. That's when Y103, I was, still at the Wolf.
Right.
And, so we were boycotting that stuff.
Oh.
We were, that
Sorry I
was
brought that up.
forbidden territory. No, now you can talk about it. It's a Y103 show. Now I can talk to everybody like, hey, remember when we had Skinnerd out there with Leslie
Right.
West? Yeah.
Yeah.
They did have some good shows out there. Ted Nugent and ZZ Top was a good one that I remember.
Saw that one too. Yep.
And, well, wasn't that the one too when Left End came back and Dennis kind of got really screwed up and kind of blew the gig?
I think I remember that. Yeah.
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 I'm pretty sure that was the one. And then what else? Who was another one out there? Oh, Dickie Betts. And the crowd was thin. I think it was Dickie Betts and Donnie Iris. And if I remember this one correctly, Dickie Betts had a really bad attitude and he was having a bad day and he was kind of getting the crowd agitated too.
Oh geez.
And there was a lot of motorcycle dudes out there and stuff. And it was kind of getting a little edgy because
Right.
Dickie was kind of leading it on a little bit from what I remember.
I was not at that show. So,
No.
Yeah. I don't remember that show. but
Yeah.
Wow, man.
Then one time me and Casey Malone saw Dickie Betts at this club in Columbus. And of all people, Billy Bob Thornton was there.
Wow.
And he's a huge Allman Brothers fan.
Right.
So Billy Bob Thornton, we're standing there at the bar. He started buying us a couple of drinks and stuff. And then he went up and played drums with Dickie. But I'm not sure if Dickie really knew who he was. It seemed like, because we were just like kind of standing off in the corner. We could see him talking, and it seemed like Dickie's manager was trying to explain to him who this guy was and wanted to come up and play drums with them. But
He didn't know.
it was really pretty cool. Okay, let's see here. Gary Z checking in. Gary Z did all the electric for the Y103 shows, and ZZ Top was over the top. Yeah.
That was
They
a good
always
show.
put on a good show.
That was such a great show. Did you see the last time they were here?
No, I
You
missed it.
Oh, yeah. And then, passing of the bass player.
Yeah.
Yeah, that just
Dusty Hill.
Dusty Hill.
But did you see this guy, Elwood, that they have?
Yes.
And he just like fits right in.
He's a cartoon character. man.
Yeah,
He does fit right in.
He got that big gray hair, and he's got a beard, and it's just like, okay, well, Dusty's gone, and that's the guy that Dusty chose to fill in for him, because I guess that was his guitar tech.
For 30 years.
Yeah.
30 plus years. That was his guitar tech. So
And
yeah,
he's-
it makes perfect sense.
Yeah,
He
and the
would
way
just
he
jump
looks,
in.
he looks like he fits in. It's like he took it
does.
to the next level. It
He
was like,
does.
okay, because sometimes you get, when these bands, things happen or they get a replacement, and it's kind of like, but I think with him, they're really, they
Yeah.
really made a good move.
Yeah.
So where were they? Covelli Center? last time?
No, they were up here at Stambaugh.
Oh, that's right.
The
That's
Stambaugh.
right. Why didn't I
Yeah.
go to that? I
It
don't
was
know.
great. Oh, yeah, it was a great show. Great show. ZZ always puts on a great show.
I know. I've seen
what I
him
mean?
about 10 times,
Yeah.
and it was always great. It was
Yeah.
always great.
Yeah.
It's funny that Gary Z is checking in. Hey, Ken Haderis is checking in. How you doing, Ken? Let's run down a couple of things that they got going on at Robbins Theater.
Yeah.
Saturday night, they've got the Pink Floyd tribute Wish You Were Here, and
Yep.
you know how good those guys are.
Those guys are great.
Oh man.
Sounds
and then-
exactly like them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be a big show. I know a lot of people are pumped up about that. And then coming up, Southside Johnny and the Jukes, one of my favorites, man. Southside is coming, and tickets for that one went on sale today. And I'll tell you what, the last time I saw Southside was right before COVID in Clearwater, Florida. And I'll tell you what, that guy still brings it,
Yeah.
And
And that's the funny thing is these older acts, they still got it. You know what I mean? We went and saw Air Supply at Robbins Theater. Shocked. I mean, those guys were amazing, and just like these older acts, 70s, they're still bringing it. And it's great.
well, see, you got something to look forward to, man.
Yeah.
No, but you know what? That's the thing about musical talent. You get better as you go on. Say you have some kind of athletic talent. Okay, after the body starts going, you start getting older, you can't keep up. But when you're a musician, these guys just get better and better. You play better and better. The more shows that they continue to do, the better their stage presence is, the
Yeah.
better entertainers they are. And I'll tell you what, I say that about Gary Markowski. When I see Gary out
Yeah.
there playing, it's like he's better than he ever was.
Yeah.
And I mean, I could say that about a lot of people,
Sure.
but he's one that just comes to mind
Sure.
that, and that's what you've got to look forward to. I'm
Right.
sure you feel that you're better than you were,
Well, I can say this. So, my dad's side of the family was the musical side of the family. My grandma was a piano player, organ. She gigged until she was 83. She literally had a band and was gigging at 83. And unfortunately, she got sick after that. But I mean, right up to, and she had a band. She had a band and she gigged, 83 years old. So I'm hoping.
Yeah. I
You
mean,
know?
well, look at Tony Bennett. I saw him on a TV show, and he's like 90, and he's got terrible dementia, but he's got this super hot young wife too, which is crazy, And I forget who it was. Maybe it was Anderson Cooper. And Anderson Cooper's interviewing him, and they're talking, and he's having, he doesn't know. They took him over to the piano, and he belted out a song. And you'd have thought he was on stage at Madison Square Garden, and he sounded that good, and just his expression, his voice, his mannerisms and everything.
Something about
And you're
music.
just sitting there and you're looking at this going, this guy couldn't talk 2 minutes ago.
Yeah.
I mean, you had tears going down your face. You're like,
Yeah.
how does that work?
music.
Yep. And I remember our neighbor across the street, I remember she had dementia really bad, but she would play the piano all day, and she would play songs like Beautiful Dreamer and things like
Yeah.
that. And I can remember she would just be sitting in that house, just
Playing away.
playing away all day, and
Wow.
didn't even know her husband when he walked into the room.
Right.
It's crazy
It
that
is
way.
Crazy.
Let's see who else is checking in. We got a lot of, guess who tomorrow night down at the Robbins too. And let's see. Chris says, long overdue for a graphic pink show. What do you think? What's the chance of a graphic pink show?
Well, listen, I still keep in touch with all those guys, and they're all doing amazing. Mark, the drummer, he did own Hubbard Music. Then he bought Cardinal Percussion and Attack Drum Heads and Wuhan Cymbals, and he has an amazing business going on right now. Brian, he's doing marketing now. And then Dave, he's down in, I believe, North Carolina. He's an engineer.
Wow.
So, I mean, but still keep in touch with all those guys. And listen, I never say never.
Yeah.
Right?
With that kind of stuff, you can't, because all of a sudden you're at some Christmas party or something. And you say, hey, you know what? Let's get together. And then it goes so good. And then you go, maybe one more. Hey, you know what? That went good too. Maybe we'll do one more. Now, what were some of the places that you guys played with Graphic Pink back in the day?
Oh, man.
Or some of your favorites anyways?
Oh, geez, favorites. So I would have to say Fagan's up in Cleveland was always a party. Of course, the Park Inn here in Youngstown. I mean, the big places for us were the Park Inn, the Magic Twanger, Irish Bob's. I think I played almost every bar in Youngstown, to be honest with you.
No kidding. Right.
There used to be a place in Pittsburgh that we used to play all the time. Shoot, I'm trying to think of it. But I mean, those days were just amazing. I wish that those days would come back. You know what I mean? Such good times though. Graphic Pink. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Sometimes I feel like a broken record, because every time we get band people in, we all start just reminiscing about when you could go to bars 7 nights a week and it'd be bands in more than one bar. Oh, yeah. And, and every place would have people in them and it would just be crazy. And there's some people that, younger people, they just don't even understand that, you go to the Park Inn just on that corner between JB's and Park Inn, and it was just jamming with people.
And I mean, we used to play in the summertime. We used to play Tuesday to Sunday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, sometimes Sunday. Yeah. Right. Because like you said, bars had bands every day of the week, I think, except Monday. Monday was your day off. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I wish those days would come back.
Tom Gregory says he used to party at Irish Bob's with the Pink.
Oh, yeah.
And,
hey, Tom.
Let's see here.
The long hair days.
Sheila Dickinson checking in. Brad Guilford. How you doing, Brad? Heidi Smith. Rama is amazing. Yes, he is.
Heidi. That's my next door neighbor. Thanks.
Oh, okay. You're not supposed to say that. You're going to say, look how many fans I have out here. You can't say, that's my sister. My sister wouldn't say I was amazing. You'd see. Oh, Brian Boyle's checking in. How you doing, Brian? We got to get that warm weather here. Get back out on the scooters. Let's see here. Oh, Kentucky Headhunters open for somebody. I'm not sure which one Brad's talking about there. One of those shows out at Yankee Lake.
I'm still a fan. Nice. Yeah, it was amazing. So I think 2 days ago, you asked, hey, why don't you come in? So, I just started throwing it out on social media, and, seriously, I have the best friends. I had friends from North Carolina and Nashville and New York, and they're like, yeah, we're going to tune in. We're going to check it out. So, hey, everybody,
here we are.
You guys are doing well. Happy New Year. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So we're on a roll. I'm trying, getting back to ZZ Top, I saw Gary Z checked in. I remember when we went to see ZZ Top at the Richfield Coliseum, right when they were the biggest band of all times, thanks to
80s?
MTV. Oh yeah.
80s? Yeah.
When they come out, with Eliminator, and those MTV videos just launched them completely over the top. And you know what though? You could tell. I think they were the first band that really got into those synthesizers and stuff, because at some point it looked like it was just really obvious that you were hearing sounds on that stage that those three guys couldn't have been making.
I think that was the Afterburner album.
Yeah,
which
could be.
Yeah, the Afterburner album. That was and they probably were one of the first ones to do synthesizers.
And then they had, I remember they started the show and they had a giant Sphinx out there. And that's how it started. The Sphinx like sucked the covering off all the instruments, and then they were standing there instead of like a curtain opening.
Yeah.
And they had this big sphinx, and it just whoosh, and then they were there, and it was
they
kind of
played.
funny because I was laughing at it. To me, it looked a little hokey, and but you know, we're walking out in the parking lot, and I was cracking up because there were so many people go, dude, did you see when they come out? And then there they were, and it was like, yeah, you knew that was going to happen.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, you know, we met them backstage one time too, and they were really nice guys.
Yeah.
You know, I would love to hang out with Billy Gibbons.
So you know, I'm sure you get this question all the time. You know, who haven't you met that you'd really like to meet, right? And to be honest with you, my list is very short. Billy Gibbons is absolutely on that list.
Yeah, I would, you know, we met him for a brief period of time, but I would like to hang with him for a while.
Yeah.
You know, I always wanted to meet Jimmy Buffett. I always wanted to meet Bruce Springsteen. You know, the Stones, of course,
Right.
just to meet them. But you know what? It would probably be a drag because I think they're in such a different atmosphere. Keith might be cool, but I don't think meeting Mick would be. I think he would be just so far aloof
Right.
of. You know Frank Sessage, right? From Blue
Yes.
Ash, Deadbeat Post and stuff. He was talking about the time that him and Steve Baders get a chance to meet the Rolling Stones. And they were a part of this promotion, and they had a skating party with the Rolling Stones. I think it was in New York City or something, right? So, you know, all these people are coming up to Mick and all this stuff, you know. And Frank goes to Steve, he goes, hey, you want to go over and meet the Stones? So Steve walks over there, skates over, and he just kind of looks at Mick, and, you know, Mick's expecting, and Steve goes, hey, excuse me, sir, can you tell me where the restroom is?
That sounds like something he would do, right?
And Mick was just like, you know, he wasn't used to that. You know, he's used to everybody coming up there, and then he just skated away. And Mick was standing there perplexed, like, wait a minute, this guy, oh, it's Mick, you know, and yeah, he just, hey, could you tell me where the restroom is?
I think if you really want to meet somebody and talk to them, it's famous. You kind of have to hit them with something they're not expecting, right? Like, I have a story. So I got to meet Eddie Van Halen.
Oh, cool one.
Right.
Yeah.
So, you know, and he's really the reason I started playing guitar. So it's, you're going up and you're like, please don't be a dick. Don't be a dick. You know what I mean? It's like, please don't shatter this dream for me. So, I know I told you last time, so I play violin, right?
Right.
Well, Eddie played cello, and not a lot of people know that. So, you know, I walked up to him, and instead of being like, oh, you know, play guitar, and I'm a huge fan, and all this and that, I just hit him with like, so, you know, hey, it's really cool to meet you. You know, how long have you been playing cello? You know, I'm a classically trained violinist, and I just thought it was so cool that you played cello, and you could see like that caught him off guard.
Yeah.
To the point of where like we had like a 2 or 3 minute conversation, and he was super nice to me.
Oh, that's awesome.
You know? So it was, I think that's the end, is trying to, you know, ask them something they've never been asked before, or hit them with something they're not expecting.
Right, exactly. That is a good one. And for interviews or anything like that. I think when you hit them like that, and you know what, I've seen that happen in different places, not with me, but like being around, and, you know, maybe a meet and greet, and then somebody would come up with something like that, or they're from this hometown, or they know he drives a certain car, or something like that. You do a little bit of homework, and, you know, sometimes these guys, that's what they really want to talk about. And they go through this, and it's like, you know, hey, Eddie, where'd you learn how to play guitar? You know, and they just go through that same thing. And then all of a sudden some guy comes up and goes, hey, I heard you got this whatever car, or like you say, you play a cello, and then he's like, yeah, nobody ever asked me about that.
Exactly.
Hey, how about that, man? Yeah, I love it, or whatever. Yeah, that's how you have to do that sometimes. But so we've had some good time. Oh, you finished that already?
I did.
Holy,
I know, man. I know.
You know what? I feel like a wuss. I'm sitting here talking. Did I come here to talk or drink, man? You know what? I got this Sam Adams here. I haven't hit it.
You got a lot to drink.
You know what?
So,
well, you know what? I got to catch up here, man. You know.
So you were asking me in the beginning. I was, you know, about the tunes, and
you
know, things are going really well. Like I said, yesterday just finished up another song. The working title is the man.
Okay.
So we'll see how that works out. But I do have a song being released tonight at midnight, as
Yes.
a matter of fact. So I appreciate you having me in here tonight. It's called You Gonna Learn.
And that's like me. You know what? Now that I think of it, you're going to learn. You're going to teach me how to play guitar, and it just ties in. You know,
See?
I should be like a
theme.
promoter or something like that.
It is.
Yeah,
It's like a theme day here. Right?
yeah. And we are going to play that song towards the end of the show. So
Yeah,
everybody
you-
stick around for that.
Yeah.
We got to keep you around for something because my conversation alone isn't going to be enough to do that. But yeah, I'll tell you, man, we have had some good times over the years. There's no two ways about it, man.
Absolutely.
Now, of course, you and Leanne worked together. Leanne Binder worked together for a long time. So how did you guys meet up?
So it was really simple. I was playing at Nikki's Post 22 on the west side. I don't know if you remember that bar.
Vaguely, yes, I
Right.
do.
It was just a little hole in the wall. That's actually where Triple Threat was born, was Nikki's Post 22. And last year was our 25th anniversary, if you can believe that.
Wow.
But yeah, she was looking for a guitar player, and she came in one night and heard me play, and pretty much the rest is history after that.
Yeah, because you guys are
So,
tight.
yeah.
You guys got a really great chemistry together.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. Right now we're just kind of doing different projects. I know that Leanne's doing some other projects right now, So
Yeah.
we've just been moving the music forward. You know what I mean? Trying to.
That's what I like about you two, though. You guys are always working and always being creative and
Oh, yeah.
always coming up with new stuff. And that is really cool because you guys keep that drive going. What is it that helps you keep that drive going, or that you guys want to just get out there and still record and still do things like that? What is it?
So I know for me, it's, and I always say it's not really what I do. It's literally who I am. I've been playing music since I was 5 years old. There was a downtime there in the early 2000s, late 90s, when the music scene kind of died. And I was like, you know what, maybe I shouldn't do this anymore. And about 6 months into that, I was going crazy. I'm like, I have to play music. Like,
Right.
I have to play music. So I think if it's something that you truly, truly love, which, music is something I truly love, it's not something that you do, it's something you have to do. So, I love it, and I'm going to do it as long as I possibly can.
Now, see, that's a true musician. That's why people do it. That's why probably the Rolling Stones, does Keith Richards really need to go out and make any money?
No.
Does Mick Jagger really need to go out and make any money? Does Paul McCartney have to make any more money? You really see from some of these guys, though, that's the thing. They want to get out and play. You hear these interviews with Keith Richards. He wants to be on the stage. Paul McCartney wants to be on the stage. They want to be out there. And that's like a true musician right there.
And a true musician, you'll hear them in interviews say, and it's true, I don't care if there's 2 people or 20,000 people, and that's really what makes it run, right? Are the people who come to hear the music. Because if there was nobody to hear the music, then it wouldn't matter, right? But honestly, I'll play a bar and there'll be 5 people in the bar. I'm going to give it 110% if there's 5,000 people or 50,000 people there. It's what you do.
Yeah.
It does more for me than it does for the people that are actually listening to it.
Right,
So,
right,
yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that's cool. Now, I always find your story fascinating because you started out playing violin.
Mhm.
And you were a bluegrass fiddle champion. And when you were a young kid, you and your family would go around all these bluegrass festivals, and you would get out there with the fiddle and win trophies and stuff. Like Devil Went Down to Georgia,
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about that, or for the people that
Sure.
don't know about that. I know about it, but
Sure. So, I started playing violin when I was 5. I took classical lessons until I was 9. My teacher at the time, I used to take in Lisbon. Lisbon always has the Johnny Appleseed Festival. Remember the Johnny Appleseed Festival?
Yeah.
So they had a fiddle contest, and she said, I think you should enter. And I'm like, I don't know how to play the fiddle. So she got me these books, and I learned 3 songs. You had to do a hoedown, a waltz, and then a tune of your choice, in that order. So I learned these 3 songs. I'm 9 years old. My dad played guitar too, right? And so you could have an accompanist, and it was usually a guitar. So I asked my dad, I said, hey, you're gonna have to play guitar with me. So we get up there, Johnny Appleseed Festival. I'm 9. There's probably, a couple thousand people in the streets, because it
Yeah.
used to be a big deal.
Yeah.
And my dad, he looked at me and he goes, "Are you nervous?" And I'm like, "Nope, just want to play." So literally I got up there and I won, and they handed me a check for $100 and this big trophy, and I was hooked. And I'm like, okay, this is what I want to do. So now, as a sidebar to that story, there was nobody else in my age division.
Yeah.
So,
well, you know what?
So I was going to win anyway.
You don't have to say that. Whenever we do like People Choice Awards and bike shows and everything, and I always make that announcement. I go, listen, guys, you might have won best in class, or, today we give away the best Suzuki, and there's one guy and he leaves with the big trophy and everything. It's like, you do not have to say under any circumstances whatsoever. Nowhere does it say that you have to say how many bikes were there, how many people were there. All you know is you got the $100 in the trophy. And that's all you need to say.
Right.
Okay, so then we continue on.
So from 9 until I was about 15, 16 years old, I just started learning all these bluegrass and country songs by ear. When I got in my first real band when I was 13. All the rest of the other guys in the band were in their 40s. We were doing The Devil Went Down to Georgia. If you want to play in Texas, you got to have a fiddle in the band. Like we
One
were
of my
doing all
favorites,
those songs, and I would gig with those guys every once in a while, which was really cool. And then 15 and 16, we just started traveling. I won enough money where we bought a motorhome.
Wow.
A used
Get out of here.
Yeah.
Motorhome. Okay. But no,
right. Okay. I bought a big motorhome.
Yeah. Next thing you know, we're traveling in our motorhome like Johnny Cash. And
we literally would leave on Fridays. I would usually play one on Friday, one or two on Saturday, and maybe one on Sunday. I mean, we would travel 20, 25,000 miles over the summer.
Okay. You were like a fiddle hustler, huh? You guys would come into town and hustle these people.
From New York State to Indiana down to Nashville. I mean, we would travel to just all these fairs that had fiddle contests, and then you can join it used to be called the Fiddlers Association, the Old Time Fiddlers Association, and I joined that, and then they start ranking you. They start keeping track of all your wins, and they start ranking you, and I think the highest I ever got, I think when I was 14 or 15, was I think like number 5 or 6 in the nation for my age. But again, it was all about just having fun and playing music.
Yeah.
To me.
Yeah. Well, now you see why you're hooked, man. I mean, there's no two ways about it. You've been doing it for this long. Now, in your fiddling days, did you ever come across like some famous fiddlers and stuff, or get a chance to jam, or they bring, hey, let's bring this sensation out here to come and play with us? And
yeah, absolutely. So at the fairs, the first famous person that I got to play with was Senator Robert Byrd from West Virginia, because he was a fiddle player. I had no clue, right? And then there's a fiddle player in Nashville called Mark O'Connor. He used to be in the contests with me. I met him. Used to jam with him all the time. He's one of the Nashville cats now, man. Mark O'Connor. He's played with everybody. And then you remember Ponderosa Park,
right? Yes,
right. So,
loved it.
So I went out and I auditioned. I was 12. And I said, here I am. I want to play,
Yeah.
And I think the owner was shocked, and he's like, well, let me hear you play. And I played, and he was like, I think he thought it was a novelty act or something.
Yeah.
First show he put me on was Barbara Mandrell and the Mandrell sisters. So I got to meet them. I got to see their tour bus, the Oak Ridge Boys.
Love the Oak Ridge Boys.
I'm trying to think of who else. I mean, I did 4 or 5 shows out there, Ponderosa Park, for some big acts, and I got to hang out backstage with them. It was awesome.
That's crazy.
Awesome. Yeah.
Ponderosa Park used to be the place for country music. I mean, that was like the mecca of country music, and it was every weekend. You see nowadays, like the big acts, they'll play the Richfield Coliseum, and they'll go on tour, and you catch this guy for and the next country concert is going to be a couple weeks away or a month away. Those guys were like every single weekend. It was George Jones and Merle Haggard and the Oak Ridge Boys and Willie Nelson. Yes. And it was just like one big name after another all summer long.
Yeah.
You know, Barbara Mandrell and
Oh, it's
Charlie
great.
Daniels, and they would just Willie Nelson.
Yeah.
You know, and it was just like, it wasn't like, okay, you know, we're doing a concert here, we're doing a concert here. It was just every single weekend that
And it
place
so
was
cool
jamming.
because it was so laid back there. If you remember, if you saw concerts, I mean, you know, they had the big pavilion, so pretty much everybody was covered, and people would, you know, bring their coolers and they would sit and they would just have a good time. It wasn't really like, you know, a big arena. You know what I mean? It
Yeah.
was more like a laid back summer party. It was
Yeah,
great. It was
yeah.
great.
And that was the beauty and the charm of country music back then, that a lot of people didn't realize, that, you know, now that it's so mainstream, but back then it just had a cool vibe about it. And the artists too were really fan friendly. You know, every country artist, I don't care if it was Willie Nelson, George, they would all come out and sign autographs, and Marty Robbins and those guys, and take pictures and everything. They really knew how to treat their fans. And I think one of the last bands that I really saw that I was impressed with was Alabama, when they finally hit the big time, and they were playing like Richfield Coliseum, and you know, Gary Zoccolo's on here, Gary Z, and we were at that one. I mean, those guys were doing autograph sessions at the Richfield Coliseum after the show.
Wow.
You know, but that's how you win over fans. And that was the thing about the country music community, especially like in the 60s, 70s, and heading into the 80s. It was like, you know, hey, if an artist didn't come out and shake hands and sign autographs and stuff, that was like a you know, it would be like a snub.
Yeah.
It would be like a snub. And those guys knew it. And, you know, they would talk to the DJs, and they just had this whole thing going. And NASCAR was like that too. NASCAR, that's one of the things that I think they lost in NASCAR, you know, that they just lost that good old boy. And, you know, back in the day when, you know, they'd come over to the wall and sign autographs for everybody and things like that. I think people have gotten away from that a lot. And I'll tell you, here's a good example. You know, Gary Z and myself, you know, we've had a lot of adventures, and I see he's on there, but we met Johnny Cash at the Scottish Rite Cathedral in Newcastle. And to this day, one of the biggest thrills of my life, you know, meeting Johnny Cash.
Oh, man.
And so we're just sitting in the back of the, you know, like the dressing room area and stuff. And of course the door burst open, and, you know, and it was just like, you know, the clouds parted, and a lightning bolt struck, and there was thunder, and wind was blowing in, and, you know, and Johnny's got, you know, like, you know, two wolves, white wolves on chains, and he's pulling them back and all this stuff. But anyways, the door opens, and there's Johnny Cash, and he just walks in, and he's with June, and me and Z are just sitting there, and he just walks up, sticks his hand out, and goes, "Hello, I'm Johnny Cash. This is my lovely wife, June." And it's like, Johnny, you don't have to introduce yourself to us.
Right.
You know, and then Johnny says, "Hey, why don't you fellas come and join us? You know, we're going to have some dinner here." You know, we sat down with Johnny and June. We're eating a chicken dinner and stuff, and just shooting the shit and everything. And he was really as cool as you could see. And then when you continue to read people that have had encounters with Johnny over the years, I mean, he was really the real deal. And then to see him like that, and then as we progressed onward. And now sometimes, you know, we'll get an interview with somebody, you know, and I'll say 5 minutes, or, you know, just to shake the guy's hand and get a picture, you got to practically like you're going to see the Pope and everything. and to this day, every time I see all this rigmarole going on, in the back of my mind, I'm just saying, you must think that you're bigger than Johnny Cash, because this is not Johnny Cash did it. And he had no entourage, nothing. Just him and June walked in, come up to us, "Come on, let's have dinner." And, you know, and it was just like, and just sat there and bullshitted with us and stuff. And it was really cool.
Most of the bands that I've been fortunate enough to open for over the many years that I've done, I mean, have all usually been really nice and opening and welcoming. That, believe it or not, the nicest band that we ever opened for was Loverboy. They were amazingly generous, invited us in to their dressing room to share the dressing room, have their food, have their drinks, chat with them. They were awesome.
Well, you know what? A lot of those guys remember what it was like for them, and that they were in your shoes, or that, you know, but, you know, most of the people that I have encountered. Usually, though, we meet them in a situation where it's like a press thing and everything,
Yeah.
and so they're always on their best behavior, or you would think they would be.
Right.
But it just seems like the bigger they are, the nicer they are. You know, like when we had Kiss come to the radio station and stuff
Yeah.
like that, and we had lunch with you could win lunch with Gene and Paul. I mean, they were the nicest guys that you would want to meet.
Wow.
I mean, they just treated their fans real nice. And then there was, you know, when people found out where the lunch was, they had a ton of people lined up outside
Right.
with albums and everything. Those guys went right outside, shook hands with everybody,
That's amazing.
taking pictures. Gene probably grabbing some titties, which you can't do these days.
No, you can't.
And you know, but they went down there and they just shook hands and talked with everybody. And you know, a lot of these guys, you just meet them and they're just like, it's almost like they have nothing to prove. And I think some of these people realize how fortunate they are to be where they're at.
Absolutely.
You know, and I think when they see up and coming people and seeing people trying to make it and stuff, I think it really does remind them. And now, of course, there are some assholes out there,
Oh,
that,
sure.
you know, and
Sure.
they might not,
We
you
all
know,
have
but
those stories. Too.
yeah. But I mean, so many of those guys were just like, Steve Christophe.
Oh,
Now,
hey,
Steve Christophe, Stevie the
There
C,
you go.
we jokingly call him friend of Rockstar because when he worked at the radio station with us, for some reason, Stevie the C has been backstage and stuff more than me. He was the sales, you know, it's almost like Joe with the bourbon.
Right.
He was the sales guy. I'm the DJ, right? You
Right.
would think that it would be me with Eddie Van Halen and the band. No, it's Stevie the C.
Oh,
That's why
yeah.
we call him friend of the rock star. He's got like this guitar that's just autographed by everybody.
Uh-huh.
And it's like, well, wait a minute, what's wrong with this picture?
Right.
You know, how is he backstage at every single show? And I'm over here, you know, whatever. But yeah, we have had some good times out there. Yeah, he sat at the table with Gene, great guy, and just so much fun to be with. So okay, so getting back to you now. So you're on with the fiddle contest. You know,
Yeah.
that's how this show goes. Though sometimes we start over
That's
here,
all right.
and if I'm fortunate enough to remember where we were, then it comes back to that. Somebody pointed that out to me last week. They go, "Hey, I was listening to that interview, and then all of a sudden you were talking about this, and then all of a sudden you come back and you go, hey, by the way, you know." And it's like, I don't know how I did that because you know usually I wouldn't remember where we were. But okay, so you're out there, you're fiddling and everything, and then where do you go from there?
So after about 15, so this is how the story goes that I found to play guitar. Friend of mine, one of my best friends, we were riding to school on the bus, and he has these headphones on, and he's really getting into this music. And I look at him and I go, "Hey, what are you listening to?" He's like, "Oh, my brother gave me this tape, you know, back when they had the Walkmans." And I'm like, "Can I listen to it?" And he's like, "Yeah." And I put on the headphones, and it's the beginning of the song "Drop Dead Legs" by Van Halen. And I was mesmerized because all I really listened to was country music back then, not really a lot of rock. And he let me listen to the whole tape all the way to the school, and immediately I'm like, I've got to get a guitar.
So much for the fiddle. That's where the fiddle, like, kind of,
right, you know. So that Christmas, you know, I got a really cheap acoustic guitar. I saved up some money and got an electric, and I started playing electric guitar in, you know, the garage bands in school, and singing a little bit. That went to me going to college here, right down here at YSU for violin, continuing to play guitar in garage bands. And as mentioned, Graphic Pink was really the first band that I got into that was a working band.
Right.
You know, like that band was a business. It really was a business. We were incorporated and we ran it as such. And I learned a ton from that, you know, and from that is really when, you know, the whole rock and blues and jazz kind of thing just kind of took hold of me. And it was cool because it was a whole different mindset and a whole different, you know, musical set of, you know, sounds that I'd never heard before. And yeah, I haven't looked back since then. So
Now, when you guys started Graphic Pink and you say that you set this up as a business, now, is that a mistake that some bands make? I mean, what are some mistakes? Were you glad that you did it that way, number one, and that you ran it like a business? And what are some of the mistakes that guys starting bands make?
Well, so from a band perspective, you know, the guys in Graphic Pink, I mean, it was a job. It was a fun job, right? But I mean, it was also an income for a lot of us. And how we handled it was whatever was in the top 40. First of all, you couldn't play the songs that you wanted to play. Okay. Right. Song was in the top 40, 180 beats per minute. You know, like there were specific criteria that a song had to meet before we would even consider playing it in a club, you know, because, you know, first of all, you want to get the girls out there dancing.
Absolutely.
And if the girls are out there dancing, then the guys are going to come, right? And if you're playing the right songs and everybody's dancing all night long, they're going to sell more alcohol. And I mean, it really was looked at as a business and how to drive that business. And, you know, I was really young. It was really more the other guys in the band because Graphic Pink was actually, I was the second singer in Graphic Pink, not the first singer, you know. They really knew the business and they really knew how to run it. And as far as bands nowadays, I think the problem with a lot of bands nowadays is just commitment, right?
Yeah.
So it's really fun to get a couple of your friends together and form a band and play in a club. That's great, right? But I think a lot of bands don't commit to that. You know, we have the bands around here that have committed to that. You have the house bands, you know, you have the Huck and Philbillies. You have these bands that made a commitment. Okay, this is what we're going to do, and this is how we're going to do it. And it's, you know, we're going to have fun doing it, but we're committing to it. So I think a lot of bands just are missing that commitment.
The commitment
to, first of all, practicing your instrument and playing well, right? You know, and the commitment to, okay, we're going to stick this out. You know, we're going to make this work.
The gig ain't the gig ain't rehearsal
Yeah, it ain't
night.
the rehearsal, right? Exactly.
Yeah. You hear that musicians say that a lot. You know, probably the serious ones say that. You know?
Yeah, I mean, it's the 10,000 hour rule, right?
Yeah.
You know, if you have a band that has practiced, you know, 10,000 hours, they're probably going to be pretty good, you know, when you go see them. So,
right. It's just like anything though, you know, with sports, with football,
Yeah.
who are the superstars? The guy that put in the most commitment, the guys that are in the weight room the most, the guys that are pumping iron and working out and doing their sit-ups and eating their Wheaties and,
committed to it.
you know, yeah. And I'll tell you what, though, I think that is a really smart way to look at a band. And I think some other bands should keep that in mind, you know, that you guys would get that and want to get them right beats and everything. And then, and that's why you guys were around. And that's why you were bringing in crowds, because you were playing the right thing. You set the right vibe, you set the right tone. And then the bands that draw the most people make the most money.
Absolutely. Well, used to.
Yeah, used to. Yeah, now, you know, it's the same thing with DJs and everything. And, you know, it's funny that you mentioned about, you know, getting the girls up dancing. That a lot of people don't realize that is the number one thing. And I'll tell you what, you look at bands like Disco Inferno and Old School, you cannot, you know, you can't even book them guys. They're booked 2 years in advance.
Absolutely.
And because they come in there and you get those girls up dancing. Now, see, when I was DJing, well, I still do, but when I first started out, that was a big problem. You know, I would have to play certain bars where people would come and listen to music because, you know, when you know, CD 106 first come out, if I was at a bar and I played a dance song, or if I would play Michael Jackson, Beat It or something, they'd want to beat me, you know? So you'd have all these guys in there, right? And the place would be packed.
Right.
But, you know, they wanted to hear whatever the rock songs were. And,
Right.
you know, I'm pulling out deep cuts and they're, oh, yeah, I haven't heard that one in ages and everything. But then what would happen was by 11 o'clock, there's no chicks there.
Yeah.
These guys get up, they leave, they go out to try to get laid somewhere. And then they come back at 2 o'clock in the morning and then they start a fight there, you know?
Right.
And, you know,
Right.
and they were wondering why there were no girls there. It's because we're not playing that. But by the same token, I mean, but there are bands though that people come out to see to listen to what they play.
Absolutely.
You know, and I mean, so it was that kind of a thing. But, you know, for the club thing, you know, I mean, if the girls can't dance, you know, you're missing it, you know.
Well, so like I look at Triple Threat as kind of the opposite of that. Just exactly what you're talking about. You know, I don't consider Triple Threat a dance band.
Right.
Right. We're a blues rock band, and we do play stuff that we like. We do try to play stuff that people like, but you know, it's more of we're up there performing for people, not necessarily to get everybody up dancing.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, you know, you play like the Sail In for our biker things
Yeah.
and stuff like that. There's nobody here wanting to dance. You know, they want to hear you play Skinner and whatever else. Okay, Chris definitely wants Chris definitely wants to hear. Wants you guys. She's just dying for a Graphic Pink reunion. Chris is begging you, Rama. She's begging you. Come to O'Donnell's in the big tent, the party tent, please.
So that's great. So Graphic Pink, we only used to do 2 shows a year right at the end there. And one of them was the St. Patrick's Day at O'Donnell's. And man, talk about fun.
Oh yeah.
Oh man. And you're right, Chris, that was a great time. The crowd used to get into it. That was such a good night, man. So let me talk to the guys and see what I can do.
Yeah, that'd be well. You know, Chris is going to be there. Yeah, Gary Z. He's talking about when he was DJ and he'd play some of these bars where people would want to kick his ass for playing dance music.
Yeah.
It was like that, though. You know, so that's why you had to play certain bars. You know, and there are bars that people want to, or biker type bars, or that where they want to just rock and better play some Skinner, Nazareth Hair of the Dog, and Georgia Satellites. Keep your hands to yourself and turn the page, and then we're good to go.
See,
that's all we need.
You know all the songs.
Yeah.
I'm a DJ right now.
Yeah, right. And you know what? I'll tell you something about that too. And you're talking about playing hits. That's one thing that I sometimes think that people don't understand about the radio. We have to play the songs that the most people are going to like at that given time. And it's just the way it is. And now it's even more with because people have so many different options. A lot of people I don't think understand that is that if say you listen to the radio 15 minutes a day when you drive back and forth to work, if you play something crazy or that a lot of people don't know, you're simply not going to get the listeners. It's like, when you're talking about these bands, you don't necessarily play the songs you like, but if we know, and some people probably cringe or go, but a lot of people out there like Sweet Home Alabama.
Absolutely.
A lot of people out there like Journey, Don't Stop Believing. It's just the way it is. I mean, honestly, it's just the way it is. And if you had to do whatever you have, you got to throw the best song out there, or the song that the most people like. It has, the days of radio, like, MMS back in the day, and, we're not bringing the next David Bowie to you. It doesn't work that way anymore. Unfortunately, we're not bringing you Bruce Springsteen for the first time ever heard, or Rush. Nobody ever heard. It just does. Unfortunately, it does not work that way anymore. It's a different scene,
You bring up like the best point, right? So that gets into, bands and people who are trying to do original music, right? So we're in an era now where you hear the same 30 songs all day long. And I'm talking the new songs. So somebody puts it out.
Yeah. And Top 40 radio has always been that way.
Right.
That's why it's called Top 40, because they play the same Top 40 until the next 40 come out, and then we'll throw those until
you could have a band that has a top 40 hit, and it's not their best song, but people love it because they heard it so much. I mean, come on, you've had to have where you've heard a song and you're kind of like, that song's all right. And then after the 10th time you hear it, you're like, oh, that song's actually pretty good. And I think it gets ingrained. They push those songs and it gets ingrained to the point of where you actually like it. Yeah. It wasn't necessarily your cup of tea the first time through.
Yeah.
And that's really what we're missing now with, gosh, I know so many people in this town, so many bands in this town that are putting out great original material.
Yes.
And it's a shame because they're not being heard.
Yes.
And I don't think it's necessarily because people don't want to hear it. I think it's just, one, there's no exposure to it.
Yes.
And two, if you do get exposed to it, you have to listen to it a couple times.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
For me, trying to put out a song and trying to promote it, and knowing that the first time somebody hears a song, they might not get it, or it might not be, again, what they kind of like. But if I can get somebody to hear my song 5 times, 10 times,
Yes.
maybe then it will stick a little bit.
Absolutely.
And that is the hardest thing to do.
And you know what's crazy though about today too is that you got so many outlets to get this music, but what's really missing, and some people looked at them as like the enemy and stuff, but like the record labels, and when the record labels and the radio would work together hand in hand, and the record labels were able to make stars.
Yeah.
The record labels, now there's a lot of good music out there, but you have to go search for it. Before, back in the day, it was handed to you.
Exactly.
It was like, here it is. This is a band called Rush, and then all of a sudden the record company gets behind them, and then they're promoting them, and they're putting them on this act, that act, and blah, blah, blah. But that's the problem today. There's a lot of good music out there. It's almost like you need somebody to be like a shepherd and guide them to it and point them to it,
And the other part of that is there's so many more options.
Yes.
So how many bands would a record label sign in a year back in the day? 5, 6, right? Now you literally have millions of songs being released every week.
Yes.
I mean, millions of songs. So the competition is, instead of competing against 5 bands, you're competing against millions of bands on a weekly basis.
Yeah, it's tough. It really is tough.
It's extremely hard.
We got to get a computer guy like Joe here to figure a way that, that bands can cut through the clutter and get to the top, And that's what but that's what record companies did.
Yeah.
That's what record labels did. And a lot of people, and especially musicians, looked at them as the bad guy, but also in some ways they were the good guy because they had the power, they're tuned in, and they had the machine and the backing and the knowledge and the promotional people that if they wanted to get behind something and push it and put ads and billboards and whatever, and get people on TV shows, and they had that power. And now it's like every man for themselves. And if you get it out there,
it's all
good
about
for
social
you.
media now.
Yeah.
If you can get 50, 100,000, people to follow you, there's your start.
Yep. But you know what? And there are certain things that I do lament about the good old days, but I and it took me a while to get to this point, but after a while you get to the point and you just say, you know what, things keep changing. It ain't like it used to be. And I know, even like with, in the commercial corporate radio world, probably one of the things that would probably get you fired or put you on the shit list, if you would say, but that's not how we do it. We never used to, that's not the way we used to do it. That would probably get you fired quicker than anything. That's one thing you don't want to say. But you know what? It's just that way. Earlier we were talking about like truck night. When that, between Yankee Lake and then when Fireball started over in Brookfield, they were bringing people in on hay wagons parked in fields a mile away to come to this thing, and you couldn't get near the place. Now it's nothing.
Yeah.
It just changes. When you look at, even bike nights aren't what they used to be.
Wow.
Bike nights have fallen way off. You're not getting these 3,000 bikes in a place anymore. It's just not the way it goes. And unfortunately, that I think maybe this from now that I'm an old fart, but it's like things change, man. It ain't like it used to be. That's a song I want to write. Maybe me and you will write that song.
We're gonna write it right now.
Things ain't what they used to be. Nothing's like it used to be. Nothing is. And especially, with the way the internet and everything, took off.
Well, yeah, technology's changed everything.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not saying it's worse. I'm just saying it's
No,
different. you
yeah,
know?
no, it's yeah. So
Yeah.
now all of a sudden things go the different way, and it's things that we have no control over. Isn't it crazy though how all this stuff? Now Joe's a big technology guy. Joe's
Yeah.
sitting here going,
Yeah.
you know, Joe's thinking of ways. He's thinking artificial intelligent band sitting here or something. Joe's working on this, man. He's gonna make sure every song has 180 beats per minute.
Right.
He's working on a computer program here that's
Load up
that
Chat
these
GPT
guys.
or
Yeah,
GPT,
you know
right?
he's
Yeah.
up to something. He's
Oh,
sitting
yeah.
there with that smile on his face,
Yeah.
going, "Yeah, these guys are talking about technology." He's getting excited over there. He's going, "Yeah, technology."
But
Yeah.
technology.
What do you think? Technology good? Technology good. Yeah.
But, technology though has made it possible for people like me to release songs
Yes.
and to possibly millions of people if you can get the eyes on it. So
Yeah.
that never would have happened 20 years ago. So
Okay. Zeke's checking in. Fox and Hound.
oh my gosh,
That was a
Fox
fun
and
place,
that,
man.
Fox and Hound,
That was right in Liberty,
the
right?
park.
Right off the
Yes.
freeway.
right off
Yeah.
the freeway in Liberty.
Yeah.
Fox and Hound, that's another good one.
Okay, there's another thing. Look at how Liberty used to jam. You know, we
yeah.
reminisce and lament about all these things. Liberty, man, with Fox and Hound and the Blue Light and the Boatyard
Oh, yeah.
and the Metroplex, man, when Choices and all those places were going berserk.
Yes.
You know, I mean, I remember when Choices was at its peak and they had, the disco, that was the big disco hotspot where
Mhm.
people went to dance and the meat market, pick up chicks. And then they had the comedy club in there. And then they had the piano bar in there.
Yeah.
And then you go right around the corner to the Fox and Hound. Then you go up a little further and, you go down to the Boatyard and the Blue Light and all those places. And
Yeah,
it
man.
was, the place was
It was
jamming.
hopping.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And, you just don't see that anymore.
No.
Yeah, so Zeke, good one there. Fox and Hound, man. And of
Mhm.
course the Park Inn. The Park Inn was legendary,
Absolutely.
And we just had so many good times back then. But like I say, times change, they come and go.
Yeah.
Who knows what's going to be around 10 years from now,
Exactly.
Well, Joe does. Joe's working on
Yeah,
something.
he's
Yeah,
working on what's
yeah.
happening for 10
Joe
years from now.
knows. Joe knows. He's got something going on. Well, you look around here. He started with Thomas Edison. He drives a Tesla. He wants to be one of these guys that shoots off in a rocket. When they were doing Joe wants to go to Mars.
Oh.
When they were doing those rocket launches and tests, and we were doing the podcast, we would have to stop. Everything would stop down here and watch it. It was like, okay, is it gonna go? And then it would go and it'd fall down, and some smoke would come out, and then they're like, okay, well that just cost us $50 billion. Let's try another one. Okay, here comes. We'll be back in a month with the volume number 4. And Joe's sitting there going, I hope they get it right when they put me to Mars. But yeah, I'm looking behind us. We got Jerry Sanafani on a picture and Tom Faginski from Left End and Dave Ditzler from the
Wow.
arcade. Oh, those were some days there, the arcade. Now, were you around the arcade days or,
No, I was not up here yet. in the
Okay.
Arcade days.
you're a
Yeah.
little young for that? How old are you?
Just turned 52.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Oh yeah. So you got it. There's a little gap in there.
Little age gap in there.
Yeah.
So- So you want to learn to play guitar?
What do you think, man? You going to teach me to play a song here or
Yeah, why
something?
not? I think-
All right, we'll let Joe.
I think we should.
You know what? I still haven't drank my coffee.
Well, have some coffee first.
Okay, yeah, we'll get set up here. Now that's well, of course, we wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
Okay. Bob Barris says a lot of those places that are gone, but the West Side Bowl.
Yes.
I got to give a big salute to
Absolutely.
West Side Bowl
Absolutely.
because there are places. See, that shows you there are places out there for original music and stuff. People just got to make that commitment.
Exactly.
I mean,
Exactly.
even back in Youngstown, back in the day, we had the Cedars and the Nyabingi going and stuff like that. You had that. So you got to find the right places. These guys, a businessman's got to make the commitment to do this
That's right.
and be in it for the long run.
That's right.
And as it goes on, it will take off, because people will want to come out. They will want to see new music. And I'll tell you what, it's hard. And I'll tell you who was really, though, the kings of breaking their music was Left End. Them
yeah.
guys had that down to the T, because you would go out to their gigs and they were playing Nazareth, Hair of the Dog, Life in the Fast Lane,
Yep.
whatever those big songs were. And then they'd throw their song in until it got familiar. and there's that art to it. But I also get the complete original. You know, I
Right.
get that when you want to be an original artist. Here's what I am.
Right.
Are you in or you out?
Right.
You know,
Right.
and I get that too. But you need a different venue, and
Yeah.
you know. So nowadays, though, that's where you get that
Mhm.
the social media, the podcast, that kind of stuff. Yeah, Government
Yep.
Mule at the Naya
Naya
Bingy.
Bingy.
That's a good one,
Oh,
Bob.
yeah.
How about when Ron Jeremy was there?
I did not know that.
Ron Jeremy was there. David Allen Coe played at the Naya Bingy that I remember.
Wow.
And I'll tell you who else we had there, and this was kind of like off the beaten path for us to even do a show there. You know, even when we were CD 106, is we brought Train to the Naya
Really?
Bingy when they first started out, just when Drops of Jupiter was coming out, and we brought them down there. And boy, what a show!
But,
And it's hard to believe how those guys
it took off.
just shot off from there. But you know, it's good that the West Side Bowl is out there, and they do deserve a lot of props.
They do. Absolutely.
Yep. And of course, TJ, you know, TJ's always going to bring
Oh,
up
yeah.
the parlor.
Hey, TJ.
Of
course, the parlor.
You know?
Of course.
Who doesn't love the parlor? I've spent way too much time in the parlor in my day, man.
But you know, you're right. So some of these originals that I'm recording, we're gonna do just that. So with Triple Threat, we're gonna start throwing them in. Why not? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
See if people see what kind of reaction we get from people. It's the only way you can really judge it. Is to play them in front of a live crowd.
Yep.
See if it goes over. See if they like it. Triple Threat, we do have a gig this year at the Ribs and Rock. We're going to be playing with the Clarks.
Oh, that'll be fun.
So, you know, we're going to throw some of them out there and see what happens. So,
now Bob says the Clarks getting signed was one of the worst things that happened to him, because that does happen sometimes, though. Sometimes you get signed and they just want to change you to take away everything you did. I mean, look at even Noisy Mama. When they got signed, they made him change people in the band.
Yeah.
It was going to change your name.
Yeah.
Here's the kind of songs you're going to do. And it could happen, you know, that could.
it does.
The Clarks are such a good band.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, Jim, stick around because we're going to play Rama's new song here coming up after he teaches me. He's going to teach me how to play it. You know, Rama's going to teach me how to play it. But yeah, this is going to be fun. I do kind of know 3 chords, but you have to show me where we're going to take it.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, we absolutely.
And then maybe we can work on my singing. You know, I think some people say I have a good speaking voice, but I think singing, there's only 2. Well, we sing 3 steps. You know, I can sing 3 steps pretty good.
Okay. Yeah.
You know, I do that when I do Roadhouse Blues,
Right.
kind of songs like that. But I think for me to just sing a song, you know, it's tough for me to do. I can't carry it too. Yeah, I think that's why I got on the radio, because I love music so much and I want to be a part of the entertainment, but I have no musical talent whatsoever. And which is crazy, because my dad was an excellent guitar player and he was an excellent piano player, and he just couldn't teach me.
So you got
know?
it in there
Somewhere in there, you know. So, all right, let me finish this. You want to get set up? And
yeah.
Well, I'm gonna play your song while
Yeah,
you're
let's-
setting up.
Oh, we
Yeah,
want to set
let's
this.
go.
Okay, yeah, let's play the song now. Okay, that's good.
So-
So tell us a little bit about this song and what you're working on,
Yeah.
where you recorded it, the little story behind the song, how you wrote it. Give us the whole spiel.
So this song is "You Gonna Learn," which is the theme for tonight. And I really wanted to write a song for Triple Threat that we could play live, right, as an original. And it's a blues shuffle. It's a song you've probably heard a million times, you know, the way that it goes. But yeah, and I really wanted to do a song where we could kind of stretch out. The band could stretch out. There's keyboards on this song played by the great Lee Turner, who is the keyboard player for Darius Rucker.
Oh, awesome.
So we've done a lot of work with him. He's down in Nashville. Want to thank him for doing that for me. And yeah, it's a very simple song. The whole middle section is just kind of a jam, you know, because I wanted to give the band something that we could really kind of dig our teeth into.
And you know what? I think that's a good way to go. And I think that a lot of people, when you're trying to work these in, especially if it's familiar, but it's new,
Exactly.
is not a bad way to go. It's
Exactly.
not a bad way to go. You know, it's just like, okay, goes right to that next one. Hey, was that somebody, or is that, you
That's
know,
exactly
and it
what
really
you want.
sounds good, man. That's a good way to work that.
That was the whole philosophy behind the tune.
Okay, here we
So,
go.
yeah.
Rama's
All right,
brand
I'll
new
get set
one,
up.
man. You're going to learn. Hit it, Joe. You having fun, Rama? We
but you left me all alone. You're gonna learn. You're gonna learn. You're gonna learn, little girl. I only have eyes for you. Call you in the daytime, call you in the night, call you every day, but all you wanna do is fight. You're gonna learn. You're gonna learn. You're gonna learn, little girl. I only have eyes for you.
Second fret, and on the strings, we talk to you.
People say I'm crazy. Some people say I'm stoned. I'm crazy for you, darling, but you left me all alone. You're gonna learn. You're gonna learn. You're gonna learn, little girl. I only have eyes for you.
Yeah.
All right, hey, we are back. All right. How about that song right there, man? You're going to learn. That's the new one from Rama. And when Triple Tread is out playing, check that out. Now, where can they find this? Where could they download it? Where could they hear that song? That was a jamming song there, Rama.
Dude, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
So that song is dropping at midnight. It's not out yet. So world premiere right here.
Wow.
Thanks, Joe.
Man, how big is
Seriously, that was awesome.
Woo.
I will say,
Yeah.
so you can find it on all streaming services, Spotify, iTunes, Apple. Also, everything gets pushed to YouTube. So if you go to YouTube and search Rama Music, for those of you that don't know, Rajma, that's why nobody can find me, because there's a J in there. If you just go to Rama Music and search, it'll come up. So, and then I wanted to give a real quick shout out. My friend Colin Broadbent over in Cardiff, Wales, is actually going to drop the song over in the UK on Monday. So
that's cool.
Yeah, Cardiff Radio. So thank you, Colin. I appreciate it.
You never know where, especially now, though. That's one thing that, with the way things are going, you never know now where these songs could wind up internationally, which is really cool, because before I don't think you really had that, if you just had a vinyl 45 or something. But now you got people that could be, playing this song anywhere.
Anywhere.
And there are more places out there that you get the music played. So pros and cons. Yeah. Now Bob recognizes the guitar that you have here, Rama.
Yeah. So let me just tell you about this, and I know Dr. Sue will see this. So every year, I kind of do the musical direction for a charity event called Wolfstock, and it's for the charity Wolfstock, and we try to raise money to help dogs and cats and all kinds of animals. It's run by Dr. Sue Wilcox at Steel Valley Spay Neuter, and actually, this guitar, if you guys can see it, it's an exact replica of Scott Blasey's guitar from the Clarks. Dr. Sue had this made. The Clarks signed it. It's got the sticker on it, just like his. And, I wanted to help the charity out, and I bought it, because it's a great guitar. It's the same year as his and everything else. So it's an awesome, and it sounds great. If I could have it tuned.
All right. So
Now,
so where
okay.
do I start here?
So,
Okay.
while the song was playing, actually, this guy can play. Listen, I mean, he's on
There we
it.
go. What do you think there, Joe? Huh?
So, making the chords is the hard part, but what's the really hard part is this hand. This is where all the music comes from. It's the right hand, right? Here you're just pressing buttons. This though, like if you were gonna strum.
That's
See what I mean?
Wait, I got
Right?
this.
Right. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to go. I want you to just hit there. Yeah. And then down, up, down, up.
Down.
Down, up, down, up. Yep.
Down. Up.
Up, down, up. Yeah, just like that. Just do this. See if you can just do this. Ah, see? That's it.
Look at me.
Look. You're ready for the gig.
Is this how we start here? Okay, where do I start, man?
So and you just do patterns. So
You know what? I
down.
think I'm a little tight. I think are you a little looser? I mean,
I'm a
should I
little
be
looser.
like-
And also when you're holding the pick, right?
Yeah.
You kind of have to watch my. You see how I'm letting the pick kind of
Yeah.
this?
Yeah. Yeah. So you want a loose grip on it. You want to
Yeah. But you got it.
listen to me and Rama here jamming out, man. This is
Now go to a G chord. Back to the D.
whoop. It'll change. How do you make the change smoother?
The change. So remember that 10,000 hour rule we were talking
Okay,
about?
all right.
So yeah. But that could be a song right there. Just G and D. Yes. He's got it. You're one of my best students. I used to teach, actually. Let's see if we can. Now, do you know C? Do you know C? Yes. And then go to the G.
Now, how do you make sure you're pushing See, how do I make sure I get that clear tone though?
You're actually doing really well. Like you've had to have played a little bit before, right?
He's sandbagging.
He is sandbagging.
No.
What was the name of the song you wanted to write?
It's nothing like it used to be.
I think we just wrote it.
Nothing like it used to be. So I'm doing okay here, really?
Yeah, if you start with the G.
Okay,
Let's start
we'll
with the G.
Okay.
And then ain't nothing like you used to be. See?
The Tomorrow
Just like that.
Club's gone. And JV's lounges too. Idora Park burnt down years ago. And Boots Bell ain't coming back no more.
Right? But see, between those three chords, if you start on the G,
Start on G.
Right?
Okay. Yeah.
and go to the C, back to the G, to the D,
To the D.
to the D, back to the G. That's a song. I mean, that's a song. Fast Freddie will be appearing with Triple Threat.
Yeah. Opening act,
February
man, opening
24th.
act. So the strumming now, that's the thing that I mean the up down. I mean, is that something you got to start?
Yes.
Because I see some of those things online. Have arrows up, down, and to
Yes.
me, I don't know what that means.
But I started you off with just doing this,
Oh yeah,
like just this strumming pattern, right? And if you watch, if you can just, and I'm still doing this, but I'm only hitting the strings on certain down and up strokes. And you got it, man.
now is this just something you do by feel, or is this like there's a certain method to the madness?
So strumming,
just playing?
they're called strumming patterns, right? That's just one. I mean, you've heard that 1,000 times, right? You just change the chord. But yeah. But all the music comes from this.
Now, how do you keep it though from hitting all these different strings and?
So actually, there is a way. If you notice, when I play this C chord, my thumb is actually touching the top string, so that if I accidentally hit it, you're not hearing it. You're kind of muting it. Because if I had it open, it would sound like this. Hear that? Yeah, you got it. I'm telling you, he truly is sandbagging here, because he knows what he's doing. But just remember, all the music really comes from your right hand. Like that blues shuffle.
Yeah. Now, how do you do that? Okay, just from the chords that I know.
We're moving up to intermediate lessons now already here. So blues is actually pretty simple.
Okay.
Like if we start on the E, okay?
Okay.
Remember how I was showing you? You just start.
Oh,
No.
the E's over here.
No. Watch. You have to use one finger.
Oh.
If you just do this. Now we're only playing these top three strings. These three strings at the top. Second fret.
Second fret.
Move that up.
Oh, okay.
And then up one more fret. There you go.
Okay.
So now we only play these strings. Now.
Oh, so when you have this chord,
Yes.
you just want to play. You don't want to come down here.
Nope.
You just want to.
You just want to hit these. Now, with your third finger, this is where it gets tough, because
Okay.
your hand's like this.
Okay.
Try to move your hand under, like take your wrist and drop your wrist down.
Okay.
It's going to feel uncomfortable.
Okay.
Okay. Now, with your third finger, I want you to
Okay.
try to reach up to this.
My third. Oh man, that's gonna be a little hard. Oh, okay, right there.
No, right there.
Oh, right there.
Yeah.
Okay, so I
There
want
you-
this across this.
Yep. And that right there. Now, here's what we're going to do. If you go 2 down so do 2 with your first finger and 2 with your third finger. So lift your third finger. Now put your third finger down. Now, if you can do this. Now you are a blues player.
Okay, so we start here, and then we do this.
Yep.
Oh wait.
Now, move everything down one string, like this. No frets. Go from here. Just move your finger down to this string. So from here down.
Oh wait a minute. Okay,
Straight.
wait. We're here and here, right?
Right.
Wait, here.
Yeah. Just
And
take
here.
this finger and move it down one string here. Right here.
Oh, back. Okay, back. Okay, yeah.
back.
So I would
Okay,
call
back.
that back.
Okay.
Okay.
And do the same thing here. With your third finger. Yep. 2 on each.
1, 2 on each.
Yep. Now you got the blues, man. You
Oh,
got
look
the
at that,
blues.
Little Freddie Jr. They call me in Chicago. Wait.
So that's your lesson for next time that I come in.
Wait. Okay. So we do this
yeah.
one first. Okay. So we start with this.
2, 2. Start with these 2 at the top. Yep, 2 at the top. Yep.
Oh, and then I come down to here,
Yes,
right?
yep.
Okay. So 2, we spread that apart.
Right.
Okay. So we start up here and we go. Wait, hold on.
You got it.
Wait.
Yep.
And then we come
And then
down, here.
He's getting it. He's getting it. Ladies and gentlemen, Fast Freddie the Blues Master.
Hey, not bad, huh? That's
Hey,
you think I
seriously.
got some potential though. You
Absolutely.
think I'm in the
As
ballpark.
soon as you hit
huh?
the D chord, I'm like, oh, he knows what he's doing.
I
Come on,
got
man.
that.
You got that. So do you own a guitar?
Yeah, I have one, but
Okay. Yeah. But you never play, huh? You should play.
wait, okay, yeah. So we got what's this? Is this the E here? E?
That's an A minor. If you take all your strings up 1, or all your fingers up 1, that's an E. I know we've lost everybody now. I have a feeling.
Hey, we had it going good. We had interesting conversation. We played Rajma song. We had the world debut of Rajma's song, right? Okay. And then we come in with this bullshit.
No,
People are
come
going,
on.
what the hell is this?
But this is fun. This is fun, man. Seriously, I haven't taught in a long time.
Okay. So you think though
You're
I
good.
might have something if I pursue this a little bit?
I think we should get together at least once every couple of weeks and we'll work on it.
Okay. All right. So
Seriously.
So let me see if I remember this one. So we come down here.
And then, yep.
Okay, I
Two,
need that.
2 frets up. Yep.
Okay. So I probably want to do it a little closer down
Yeah,
here.
there you
right?
go.
Okay.
Oh, he's getting it. Then you just drop everything. Yep.
Okay. I'm gonna work on this. But the strumming,
Yes.
that's one thing that so like
Just remember, start off just doing this. And if you can get comfortable doing that, then what you do is you just
then maybe switch to something. Or?
yeah, I like to do a down, down, up, down, up.
Down, down. Let's see when you say it.
Right.
Down, down,
Up, down, up.
Okay, wait.
Down, down, up, down, up. There you go.
Down, down, up, down, up. Down, down, up, down, down.
Yes.
Up. Down, down, up, down, up.
Down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up. Yes. Telling you, man. Yes.
I think we're on to something here,
Yeah,
Rama.
we are,
Hey,
man.
you know what? Okay, look out, man. Fast Freddie, I will be
Great
opening for
song.
Triple Threat at
That's right.
at bars and honky tonks and every place else for that, man.
I think you did an amazing job. Give it up
Well,
for Fast Freddie,
hey,
everybody.
thank
Come
you,
on.
thank you.
Yes. All right.
Well, Rama, listen, thanks for stopping by.
Absolutely.
We had an awesome time.
Thank
Good
you,
luck
sir.
on your new music. You know, anytime you got something new out, you come down and let's
Okay.
get together in 2 weeks. You really want to
Yeah,
do that?
I
mean,
will.
just
Absolutely.
to see if I could,
Yeah.
you know, so you think I might have a little basic knowledge
He's
here
got-
that I
you-
might
You
be
got a ton of
able to
potential
take
here.
this,
You do.
take this to some level.
Yes.
That would be great.
Serious.
We'll write a song too. We'll
We could
write
do
a
that.
song. Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. Sounds good. Well, listen, everybody. I want to thank Rama for stopping out. Hey, where's some triple threat gigs coming up, man?
Yep. Let me.
Okay.
I wasn't prepared. So just really quickly, we usually take January off, just because
Yeah,
of the month. But
because it's January. I don't want to leave the house.
so let's see. Oh, Triple Threat is making their comeback at the New Manhattan
Oh, okay. That's a fun place.
on February 24th.
That's another good place that always
The
supports
New
live music.
Manhattan?
New Manhattan.
Freddie will be opening for us
Yep.
then because he'll
By
be
that
good to
point
go
in
by
time,
then.
By that point in time, look, me and Rama look like we're something here, anyways. I mean,
right, man.
there might not be any actual talent on this side of the couch, but we look like something. This could be like, I mean, we look like we could be a band or something.
And then one other date that we have, which is going to be really fun, is on St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah.
We're going to be playing crickets from 5 to 7
Oh, okay.
down at Crickets.
Yeah, Crickets is a good place too.
Yeah,
I
it's
love
a great
Crickets. I used to spin records at that place when it was Johnny D's back in the day.
Yeah.
That was back in the 80s, man. Johnny D's. And listen to me.
I'm telling you.
Up, down.
You just sit at home with your guitar and do that. You'll get to that 10,000 hours quick. I'm telling you.
I like this one, man. I like the blues
Yeah.
thing here, man.
See?
I'll work on that.
You work on that one.
Yeah.
Just
Now I feel like I'm ready for almost Led Zeppelin. If I could master that little blues riff there, Buddy Guy, maybe when
Oh.
Yeah, that's what I want to do. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
That'll be next lesson.
Okay.
Okay.
Can I get that by next week?
Lesson 2.
2 weeks?
Lesson 2. We got that. Yeah.
All right. Well, listen, Rama.
Hey, thanks again.
Great time, brother.
Thanks again.
Hey, good luck on all your music. Oh,
Thanks.
tell everybody where they can find your music too. I mean,
Yeah. So again, on Facebook, Rajma, Rajma, all streaming, Spotify, again, iTunes, Apple. Go to YouTube, look up Rajma Music, and you'll find me.
And you're going to learn the new single drops tonight. Download it. Make sure you go to Apple Music or wherever you can download that. Send a couple bucks Rama's way.
Thank you.
He deserves it.
Thank you.
So Rama, continue on with the good music and continue on with the quest. And 2 weeks we'll get together and we'll.
Well, let's do it.
So-
I think we really should. We'll play you out. That's ready, everybody.
I'm a little off on that.
That's all right.
Thank you for listening to this show on Youngstown Studio. If you like our programming, we invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow our Facebook page, or subscribe to your favorite podcast platform like iTunes or Spotify. This is original Youngstown content, and we would appreciate you sharing the videos and the word about it.